What's going on everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to answer one of probably the most popular questions, which is, as a hard gainer, how can I gain weight? First things first guys, there's really no such thing as a hard gainer. There's just people who can't eat enough food. Now, I know this because I used to think that I was a hard gainer, but really it's just a matter of eating enough food in order to grow. So, the simplest way, in my opinion, to gaining weight is to start tracking your food. Now, I'm sure most of you own a smartphone, so all you have to do is download an app such as MyFitnessPal, where you can enter in your food, calculate your macros, calculate your calories, and therefore know that you are getting enough food in order to grow. If you don't have a smartphone, MyFitnessPal also has a website, so there's really no excuse not to be tracking your food. In my opinion, you need to track your food, but we will talk about later on the fact that if you don't want to track your food, what you should do then. You also need to go online and figure out what your base metabolic rate is. Now what this is it's how many calories you are burning at rest. What you can do is I'll link maybe a site on the screen here or in the info section down below of where you can go to figure out what your base metabolic rate is. Now when you do this, you can either calculate what it is for if you're sitting at home doing nothing all day, or you can calculate it for if you're working out. Maybe you're working out 1 to 3 days a week, 3 to 5 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week potentially, and you can calculate how many calories you burn roughly in one day when you are working out. For example, you might find out that your base metabolic rate is around 2800 calories. To gain weight, you need to be eating about 250 to 500 calories above that number. This is for lean gains, remember. You don't want to go too far in a surplus because you might gain too much fat. But remember that this 2800 calories is only a starting point. Your metabolism, especially if you're between the ages of about 14 and 20, your metabolism is going to be through the roof. Your metabolism is going to basically burn through everything that you eat like it's nothing at all, and you are going to have to eat more food in order to grow. Theoretically, if you are burning 2800 calories in a day when you work out, you want to be eating about 3000 to 3300 calories. But if your metabolism is super high, you might need to go between 3500 to 4000 calories in order to see consistent growth. The key thing to remember here is to only use your base metabolic rate as a starting point. Just because a calculator is telling you that you burn roughly 2800 calories per day, this is only an estimate, and you need to be manipulating it towards your own body type in order to see results. So, start tracking your macros, start tracking your total calories, and if you aren't seeing weight gain eating 3000 calories, eat 3100, eat 3200, then 3300 until you see weight gain consistently. If you don't gain weight one week, up your calories. If you don't gain weight the next week, up your calories. Keep upping your calories until you are gaining weight consistently. It's really as simple as that. Now, if you want to gain weight but fitness really isn't your priority, if it's just something you do on the side, something you do for fun, but you still want to gain weight but you don't want to track macros, fine, don't track macros. In order to gain weight, it's really still pretty simple. You simply need to eat more food. If you're eating 1 cup of oatmeal for breakfast, start having 2 cups. If you're eating 1 sandwich at lunch, start having 2. If you're having 1 cup of rice with dinner, start having 1.5 or 2 cups. This over time is going to add up. It's going to put you in that calorie surplus, and you will start to see results. If after 1 to 2 weeks you still see no results, start adding more food. Maybe add some fruit juice. Liquids are going to be your best friend. If you can, maybe start making some shakes, things like oats, peanut butter, fruit, vegetables, blend it all up together so that it's easy, convenient, and you can get it down fast. That's a great source of calories if you're struggling to get total calories in order to grow. Don't get a mass gainer if you can avoid it. Only get a mass gainer if you are eating tons and tons and tons of food, you don't have the money to pay for that food, then you can look for a mass gainer. There's really no excuse for being a hard gainer. I know this because I used to think that there was no way I could gain weight because I was eating what I thought was about 500 calories above my maintenance. I'm now getting towards 1000 calories higher than what I used to eat when I thought I was trying to bulk. So that just goes to show that metabolisms can be really high, metabolisms can be really low. Keep that in mind. You've just got to look at your own body, learn your own body, and eventually you will start to see results if you keep eating and eat right. So, a recap, if you can, I'm a big advocate of tracking macros. Tracking your macros means that you know you are going to be getting enough food. If you are guessing how much food you are getting, you might think you're getting 3,000 to 4,000 calories, when in reality, you might only be just hitting 3,000 or maybe even a little bit under. By tracking everything, you can then figure out that, yes, I am getting enough. Now, do you have to track forever? Of course not. If you don't want to track forever, you don't have to. Track for maybe 1 to 4 weeks. Learn how much food you are eating, and then you can start to eyeball it, you can start to guesstimate it, and at that stage you will have a rough idea that yes, you are getting enough food. Me personally, I like to keep tracking my macros because I want to make sure that I really am getting enough food. And secondly, if you don't want to track macros but you still want to see weight gain, simply start eating more food. Add extra bits of food here and there. Start making shakes so that you're getting easy calories in. One last thing to keep in mind if you think you're a hard gainer is that you might have to start eating even when you're not hungry. If you wait until you're hungry, it might be too late to get all of those calories in for the day. It might be helpful for you to have maybe 7 to 8 meals per day. Just make sure that if you have to, you are constantly eating. Now, it's not necessary to constantly be eating throughout the day. You can simply eat a lot at certain meals, but for you it might be easier to split them up. I hope this video was helpful for you all. Don't forget to give it a big like down below. Don't forget to leave any comments if you have them down in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next video.